Alright, this should be fun. I think, well, I'll say who I side with at the end.
Any hatred towards black men. We cannot find an effective solution to black male-female relationship issues or the oppression of black men or black women when the people at the table having the conversation have negative emotional and pathological interest in the conversation.
That small snippet is Dr. Umar Johnson addressing some of the commentary that Cynthia G has stated negatively towards black men. I'll get to that toward the end of the video. But while Dr. Umar Johnson and Cynthia G disagree on this particular subject that we've seen on Fox, so they both agree against black men dating out in the interracial setting. They don't feel that it's necessary. They feel that it's worthless. Black men are doing themselves a disservice. And I actually want to prove
I don't understand why it would be a disservice to open your options 7 times more of your matches, basically, because if you think of the population of women, of black women, there's only 13% of women that are black. So, I mean, most of their options are going to be non-black women. I do agree that, I don't agree, I actually disagree with these people because I think that people should open their options. I mean, why can't they? But continue.
My position onto what I'm saying by stating what they have said on previous podcasts and shows. First, I'll start with Dr. Umar Johnson.
But you said any black man who marries a white woman will not get your respect.
Can I respond?
Yeah, go ahead.
And what I'm telling you is this. I don't care who you name. I don't care how much work you did for black people. Your greatest commitment to black people is being committed to a black woman. It is still a contradiction. No matter how much you think you did for the struggle, if you really were concerned with black people, you would have committed yourself to a black woman. So it doesn't.
The thing is this. I don't understand it. Why are black men committed to or obligated to black women? Like, why would a strange black woman, be entitled to a black man and vice versa? We don't own each other's bodies just because we are of the same color, you know? Like, that's just so weird, in my opinion. Like, I don't think any race of people own another people, but I'm gonna definitely say for black people, we definitely do not own each other's bodies. I think that's more of a slave mindset, than anything. The way black people were seen as breeders and so forth, it was kind of associated with that. So yeah, continue.
No matter how successful they are, it doesn't matter how great you may claim them to be. At the end of the day, you didn't think enough about your own people to marry a woman who looks like you.
Now, we're going to go to Cynthia G.
Black men do not love black women, and this is why there's no behavior that they engage in that they can point to that shows that they love you. Love is not just a feeling, it's an action as well. It's a verb, it's something that you do, it's something that you can observe. You can observe somebody engaging in behaviors that shows that they love someone. That's why there's something called the love language. What is this individual's love language? What does their partner need to do in order to show love? So you can observe love. If there's nothing that black men can point to prove to you that they love you, then it is because they don't. And I think we know this because if we compare it to what they do to express and show love to women of no color or anyone who's not black and possesses white skin, for the people who think there's all these different races out here, they will be able to provide those answers. And you wouldn't even need them to provide it because they make it so blatantly known that everyone can write a laundry list on the ways in which black men show and express their love and so-called preference for women of no color, when in reality what black men have is not a preference. When you say, I'm excluding one and only interested in the other, that is not a preference. Preferences are not exclusionary. Preference means there's two things that you like, i.e. keyword, you like both of them, but one of them you like more than the other. So black men do not have a preference. What they have is self-hatred. What they have...
I don't get that. What do you mean that someone has to be attracted to a black woman or else it's self-hate? So is it self-hate that I'm not attracted to Asian men? Like, I'm not Asian at all, but I'm not attracted to Asian men at all. So, I mean, like, if it's not self-hate to not be attracted to Asian men in my case, then it's not self-hate specifically just to not be attracted to black women or black men, you know? To me, I don't think that's self-hate. I think that's a matter of your sexuality just does not include them, especially when you live in a society where the majority is not Asian, it is not black. You know, the majority of men are not black men. The majority of the majority of women are not black women. You know, the majority of men aren't Asian men either. So why would you expect people to all of a sudden be attracted to what's clearly in the far minority? People don't use their thinking cap sometimes, it seems. Anyway, continue.
Anti-blackness. What they have is a disdain for the womb they came from, and they view somebody else's womb, the womb that also gives birth to the men that they're constantly complaining about. They see more value in that than you. They do not have a preference, but I digress. So what you have here is black men who like to manipulate black women, who want to exploit black women, who want to keep black women on their side to exploit them, and them having a vested interest in you not going to other groups of men. Because if you go to another group of men, who's going to mule for black men? Who's going to advocate for black men? They certainly aren't going to advocate for themselves. If you go over to men of no color and you're divested into their community, what happens to the black community? What happens to the existence of black men? So everything that...
This is weird to me because I'm like, I never knew people marry out of their, like they marry into a new race, basically, when they marry outside of their race. They no longer are black people. Now they're white, Chinese, Asian. And also, who decides who changes the race? You have to think of that too. So if you marry outside of your race, the other person is marrying outside of their race too. So have they married outside of their race and have become another race now? Because you act like these people who interracially date are no longer black people, and therefore their issues that they find in their life are not going to pertain to a black person. As if the society doesn't see them as a black person anymore because they're married to someone. Like, nobody cares who they marry. We know who they are racially. Like, this doesn't make any sense.
Black men have everything that black men are interested in, for the most part, is tied directly to you as a black woman. And if he loses you as a black woman, he loses everything. Does that mean he loves you? No. It simply means he wants to exploit what he has always had available to him, which is a group of black men worshiping black women.
Although both of those circumstances...
I think when she's so obsessed with the black male worshiping women, that's just because she's a big black male worshiping woman herself, and she feels like she embraces them so much and they take her for granted. I don't know what to tell her for that. I mean, like, find a man who appreciates you. But I don't think that that's particular to black men, especially since she's only attracted to black men. I think you're just looking in the wrong areas. Like, you need someone who actually mutually loves you. Like, you love him and he loves you. That's your problem, girl. You keep finding men who only receive love and they do not give love. And then you have this whole spew of anger, bitterness and dissatisfaction basically coming out of your mouth because of whatever happened wrong with the last black man you were with. Anyway, continue.
Are different. They're pretty much saying the same thing. They're saying that black men have no real benefit from dating out. Even Cynthia G is saying that black men have completely excluded black women, some of them for an alternative race, which is white women. That's why black men don't even have a preference. They want them. But see, Dr. Umar Johnson and Cynthia.
What's wrong if they want them, though? Isn't it normal to be attracted to the majority of women? Like, wouldn't you think in your environment, if the main women in your environment look a certain way, why would it be shocking if you preferred women that look like the women you're used to looking at, which is white women? Because in our society, the majority of women are white. So I don't understand why that would be self-hate, why that would be abnormal, or why it should be frowned upon. Like, I mean, that's just how they are, then that's how they are. It's nothing wrong. And this isn't just this isn't all black men. I'm just saying those black men who actually do have an attraction. Well, I don't understand why are you acting like there's some kind of demon just because they're attracted to people that you don't find attractive yourself for whatever reason. You know, you for some reason are only attracted to black men even though they're a minority. But, I mean, that doesn't change how other people are going to react to their environment. So, continue.
G are missing the point of why black men are even going to the interracial setting. See, that's what they miss it. See, you hear Dr. Umar Johnson addressing the misandry towards Cynthia G. Even talked about how she's even said, you should abort black male fetuses. But now, here's the problem with both of them. If you feel that attitude is something that a black man is going to...
The abort black male fetuses thing is just her rage coming out even more. It's crazy. She, like I said, when she started saying abort black male babies, I think she was just really, really searching for attention and wanted black men to be in uproar, and black women, and anyone with a freaking brain. I mean, like, that was just weird. Some people who, well, in different sectors, many people spoke against it, but she was just looking for clout and looking for attention. That's why she said that. Anyway, continue.
Put up with and still deal with you? My question is to both of you. Are you insane? See, when Dr. Umar Johnson and Cynthia G talk about black men dating out, they're leaving out one word: value. What value is it that black women feel they should give black men in order for black men to date them? They don't see any value. See, Dr. Umar and Cynthia G do not feel that black women need to give any value to black men in order to be a wife. You see, that's where the commentary where they both agree on. See, I'm in the pro-black Pan-African world, but I understand that for many black men, they feel that black women are not giving the value. That is the only sole reason why you see black men really dating out. Now, do you have...
How are you going to speak for them, though? That's what I mean. To me, this is a bit annoying with OJ Duke Jackson. Even though I am a subscriber, please do not come for me thinking I'm a hater. I am not a hater of OJ Duke Jackson. But he sometimes, to me, is bringing off a little bit of that rage and that dissatisfaction that Cynthia G is talking about, basically. And with these situations, to me, it's like, you guys have secluded yourselves to only 13% of the population, and now you're mad about it. And then you get disgruntled and angry at the small pond that you created for yourself. And then you get mad at black men, you get mad at black women or whatever. And, you know, that's why you're upset. And you don't even realize that's why you're upset. But who's to say that, you know, most people are like you and they're really trying to do that to themselves? You know, maybe many people are not trying to implement that type of, those type of dating habits, relationship history, marriage, so forth, on their, you know, personal lives. They're not trying to do that. You are doing that, and that's why you're frustrated, and that's why you have the same type of energy as Cynthia G does towards the opposite sex when you should have just opened your options. But the thing is with you guys, I think, are you attracted to other races? Is that what your problem is you're not, maybe? And that's why you're having those problems? I don't know. Because, I mean, like, why